Let's start off with a quick definition. And clearly the big thing about social engineering is it being a non-technical method of intrusion. This really is exploiting the soft component of a system, the humans. And as the definition here says, it's about tricking them. So getting humans to do things that they wouldn't normally do, usually by convincing those humans that you, as the attacker, are someone who you are not. Someone that should be given the information which you're now trying to elicit out of the target. I want to give you a couple of examples of how social engineering is used to compromise web servers. So here's the first one. And this was about how the director of the CIA, John Brennan, had his AOL account compromised. Now, first of all, the hacker says he's a teenager. So clearly, it doesn't always take many years of experience in order to be able to socially engineer someone. Now, what the hacker did is he started with John's mobile number. And it's not hard to find the phone number of a target. He then discovered via a reverse lookup, so very similar to what we just did with domains, that John was a Verizon customer. So the attacker calls up Verizon posing as another Verizon worker. And he tells them that his tools were down and he couldn't access the customer data. He gave them a fabricated Verizon employee number, which then caused the legitimate Verizon employee to give him a whole bunch of information about John's account. Now, this information included the account number, the 4-digit PIN, the backup mobile number John had, as well as John's AOL email address and the last 4 digits of his credit card. Now, that final point in particular is very sensitive data. And even though a lot of people might think, hey, it's just the last 4 digits, you can't do much with it, you can actually use it for verification purposes. So that's what the attacker did. He called up AOL pretending to be John and said he was locked out of his account. Now, all that AOL needed in order to unlock that account was information that the attacker already had. The name of the account holder, the phone number, and the last 4 digits of the account. With that, the password could be reset and the attacker now had access to John's email. It's that simple. Let me give you another example of social engineering that shows just how easy it can be. This was a very big story in 2014, and it related to the Twitter account N. Just the letter N. So this individual actually had a single letter Twitter account, which was enormously valuable, $50,000 by his estimate. And he had that account stolen because an attacker was able to socially engineer both PayPal and GoDaddy. And the relevance to hacking web servers is that the attacker actually gained control of the victim's DNS records. So what the attacker did was he socially engineered PayPal to get the last 4 digits of the card. The attacker never went into detail about how he did it, but clearly he was able to get those digits. He then called up GoDaddy and he used those last 4 digits in order to verify his identity and gain access to the victim's domains. Now, GoDaddy actually needed the last 6 digits of the card, not the last 4. But after providing the last 4, GoDaddy let the attacker continue to guess the other 2 until he got them right. This is a great example of social engineering, because in this case, the GoDaddy worker was no doubt trying to be helpful, and the attacker was inevitably trying to play the victim, convincing that GoDaddy employee that he just needed a bit of help. And the poor GoDaddy person was just trying to help the guy. But in doing so, he fell victim to a classic social engineering scam. And then once the attacker actually had control of the account, he had control of the domains. There are many different things he could have done in terms of actually hacking web servers when you control where the traffic is routed to. In this case, he held the victim's domains hostage until the victim actually handed over the @Twitter account. And it all just goes to show how powerful social engineering can be. The attacker didn't actually have to hack the system. He just simply asked for access. So that's social engineering, and we'll look at that in much more detail in an upcoming ethical hacking course. For now though, let's go and wrap up the module.